Hello. Hello. How are we all doing tonight? It's your boy Notepad. I write games for fun. So, a little bit later than usual, but we're going to do map stuff tonight. Yep, we're gonna do map stuff. There's no sugarcoating it. That's what we're gonna do. Good news though. Very good news. I did map stuff. I did a bit of map stuff. Let me just rework this real fast. There we go. I did a little bit of map things, as you can see. This is our current map. Luckily, the Asgars I was using does allow me to do this. Allow me to add hexes naturally. You may be wondering, Notepad, why does this thing look like it's like loading in absolute agony? Because it is loading in absolute agony. To give you an idea, this full thing is 159 by 79. This actual image you're seeing before you hear is a massive thing. Just got through a long discussion about this, quantum things, time things, and future vision. How would you handle it? I wouldn't. Very simply, I would not. Fuck that shit. Time shenanigans should never be dealt with. Time shenanigans is the worst thing you can ever do. So, what do we actually need to do today? Well, to put it simply, we need to make something fun. I do have some lore here. I got bored, so I wrote lore. I just had to write a lot of lore. That's kind of the main issue. But the main goal today is we need to establish where all of the cultures are. We need to establish... Come on, baby. Come on. It is not appreciating me. We need to establish where each of the cultures are, as well as their generalized borders. Because in the lore, we have successfully done some we've done a little bit of work, and I have come up with the lore. Very simply, we are Britain. We're going to be Britons, everyone. What do I mean by we're going to be Britons? I mean we are going to be Gaelic. Yes. Well, to be fair, some of the cultures are going to be Gaelic. Effectively, the idea is that there was an island and it's full of the Gaelic people. However, this island was taken over by the, I can't believe they're not Romans, called the Anesians. The Anesians are very racist. Why is it called Daggerland? Because the entire idea is that when the Anesians landed, it was like as if, you know, it was as if the ocean was like daggers. It was kind of jutting out a little bit, like, oh, it's daggers. And technically, they refer to themselves as the Duine, which is just people. They're like, oh, so they're like daggers. The other reason is I don't have a fucking name for this thing yet. There is no name yet. I have no idea. I am fucking winging it. If you have a better name for this shit, then tell me. I am working off nothing currently. So, what's up? Nothing much. Nothing much at all. We are, as they say in the hood, gaming. Now, we do have a few cultures. You don't get that. We do have a few cultures. Now, there's, at this point, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, technically 7 of the Duine cultures and 3 of the outside people's cultures. So let me get all the names of everyone correct. So we have the Abba, the Ruhr, the Tadig, the Ura, the Daman, the Ediarch, the Ediac, and the Sina. And then we have the Anesians, we have Anesian, we have the Murin, and we have the Somi. These are our brave and heroic. To give you an idea, this is 12-point font. These are our brave and heroic cultures. Now, what do we need to do with these brave and heroic cultures? We need to make sure that they have a place to be. Now, generally speaking, this is the split. These are the native people. These are the not native people. These, if I apply this note here, this is the I can't believe they're not Romans. So, to symbolize the fact that they are definitely not the Romans, they are going to be dark red. Yep, that's what they're going to be. They're going to be dark red. The Murin are kind of our exotic culture. They're gypsies. So they're going to be kind of like this color. They're like gypsy Easterners. And then the Somi, they're going to be this kind of darker. They're your Anglo-Saxon types. Finnish Anglo-Saxon. So, we are going to need to get the Sina. So, the main cultures is we have the Abba. The Abba are going to be, maybe we can make it green. The Abba are going to be this color. These guys are fuck you, fuck me, fuck you got mine. I don't wanna deal with your bullshit. Just look around and you mispronounce things. That's how fancy writers do it. One of the decadent but deadly. Which one of the decadent but deadly sociopaths? The Anesians. That's the thing. The Anesians. They're a bunch of Romans. They are Romans with absolutely zero morals. Even less morals than usual. The Rurar are the very rich people because they live in the mountains with all the mines. What's the Tatags thing? Tatag are the largest nation of people. We want to give them a very neutral color. How about we give them... Nope. Can we give them a... Nope. Can we give... What's a good neutral color? That's the opposite of... Let's... I'm trying to just like... There we go. I guess this is neutral enough. Horrible green. The Ira, we're gonna try to get them to be kind of, we'll make them kind of pinkish, I guess. The Dammon, they don't step on anyone's toes. The Adiak, we don't really need to worry about them, so we're going to make them kind of like an off red. We make them more red. Because there are no more Adiarchs anymore, because technically the Romans stole all of their land. Romans stole everything, because they're bastards. Sina are going to be... make a darker gray color. The Sina aren't a real people. So the idea is that everyone is playing a clan that is part of a nation. That's kind of the basic idea. If you say, hey, we want to be part of the Dwine, we want to be part of the people, the native people of the island, effectively, you are a clan that is part of a nation. You are a clan of the Abba. You are a clan of the Ruar. You're a clan of the Ira. You're a clan of the Demon. And things like that. You are a clan of a people. Now, what does this actually mean? It means that you are kind of beholden to that culture, but you are still independent. That's kind of the thing. The clan, like the nations aren't really banded together at all. They are very loosely affiliated with one another. It's just, hey, we claim descent from the hero Dammon. You claim descent from the hero Rurar. You're fucking stupid and I'm gonna kill you because you're stupid. That's kind of the basic, premise there. It's like, hey, you are part of the wrong cultural group. Even though we are fundamentally the same and we speak somewhat the same language, we're very different from one another, just culturally speaking. The Anesians dominated the entire like island for like about 350 years. There's huge chunks of the island that pretty much are Anesian. Morin and the Somi have been there for about 20 years at this point. They've moved in a shit ton of people, and they are pretty much mercenary vassals that have just recently broke away. They are not natives there, nor do they want to be natives. Few coastal holdings heavily built up and fortified. So we have Slavs versus Romans, Gypsies, Germans. Not really the Slavs, but they're kind of the Britons. That's kind of the idea. Ah, perfect. That's not supposed to be. I mean, what do you have? Oh, there's a filter here. Why is that there? Okay, no, go away. There we go. No. Oh, goodness. Oh. Oh, goodness. That's why things were a little bit goofy. Well then. Glad I fixed that. Yes, so let's do effectively what we want to do. This is going to be our, if we're just going to name this our, we're going to name this our culture map. As you can kind of see here, I have the absolute basics. This is currently the map of the area, I guess you would call it. Like if we were to apply everything like just perfectly, it would look a little bit like the best way to think about it is this is our beautiful nightmare, hilly nightmare zone. We have our lush coasts. We have our awful taigas. And we have our suspiciously weird southern coast. Just, this will probably end up getting changed slightly. But yes, this is the current map that was generated. I think it looks nice. We do actually have hex maps for everything, because hex maps save lives. So all we need to do is just figure out where everyone's going to go. So I'm going to start with one, and we're going to start with the Daemon. Now, I'm going to start with the Daemon because they have a very specific idea that I wrote for them already. They're coastal fishermen and very superstitious. They worship another god than everyone else because they worship the god Leviathan. Because the entire mythological lore of the island is that 7 great heroes banded together to kill a god, and they did, but they lost their friend Cenid. Cenid died, but you know, it's kind of his legacy lives on as a weird cult. And one of the problems is that all of them went off to form their own major nations and clans named after them. So everyone has like this vague idea of like, yeah, we are all descended from a mythical ancestor who totally for realsies killed God. And Daemon was a fisherman with a spear made of bone, who slew the god because he was a crazy awesome fisherman man. So we're gonna look over here, and we're gonna put the Daemon on this side of the continent. I mean, if we want to be like just kind of trace along the edges here, this isn't going to be very precise, but I'm just kind of tracing along here just so we kind of get the basic idea of where the Daemon's lines are. Like, where do they claim like this is our ancestral home? We can use the river kind of as a natural barrier, kind of a natural place of their kind of a natural border. Like, yeah, we don't cross the river, you don't fuck with us. So if we really want to do this, we can probably make it so like the Daemon own like this entire area effectively. Seems like a lot for the Daemon. Maybe we make it even smaller. Maybe we make it like The Damon pretty much own like this southern quadrant down here. Because there's going to be some land that like kind of isn't really owned by anyone in particular, but it's just kind of like the vague culture map. Because we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 people to kind of slap around here. Actually, no, we can make them. I feel comfortable enough making these guys a bit bigger, because again, it doesn't mean you're friendly with one another, just means that you are part of the same general culture group, effectively. So if we kind of... We are bound together by the vague sense of we are the same people, but a lot less than that. Like, but not much else more than that. That's kind of the idea. You know, monkey together is strong, monkey alone. The Damon do not have... The Damon mostly have coastal cities. And... the reason I'm kind of tracing the entire, like, coastline is just so I can, you know, section off various areas. Because this is just us establishing the map. Like, because what I need to do is I need to establish where everyone is. And once I've established where everyone is, I can start establishing where people kind of, for lack of a better word, where people live. Now, so generally speaking, the Damon own this entire part of the island. Okay. Will their homeland be the Dannon, be the southern island, or the main big holding area? Would a hundred cultural overlap area be like Cousins or Lorraine, or you spell it like with German? Kind of like what I'm doing right now is being like, where do you kind of hold? I assume there's not really any subcultures. You could say that every clan has its own subculture. That's what the big thing is. Every single clan is its own kind of subculture, with the nation being kind of like a overculture. So the Damon are... we don't need to worry about the Damon. The Anesians. Where do the Anesians hang out? On this, if we're going off this this map, where would the Anesians be from? Probably they would want to establish along the coastline. Big cities. So maybe we do something like these borders. Like they own kind of this fertile crescent area. The land here is very good. It's very rich. It's very powerful. But they themselves don't really manage it all that well. So we do like... seems very small for the Anesians, but we can then put on the 2 border kingdoms. Maybe we make them... maybe we make them just dominate the southern coast instead. Because the Anesians are effectively the Romans, and they took over another group. That's one of the ideas, that they kind of took over directly the land of another group, in a, hey, we're going to protect you from yourselves, because we're good people, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be wacky if we took over all your land? And they did. That's kind of the situation that happened there, being like, hey, you're in a civil war currently, we're going to intervene to help, but we're totally going to fuck you over and steal everything. So maybe they look kind of like this, like the Anesians are like right along the southern coast and not much else. Like, hey kids, you want to play a Roman campaign? You want to be cool Roman guys under the tyrant? Yeah, cool. You go to Anesian lands. Literally broke nations up into hexes to restrain colonization to full hexes. The Anesians pulled a Cold War America. My UA says I have 5k, but I don't have 5k. Simple land bridge. It's kind of the idea is like the Anesians found it, they landed, and they're like, man, this place sucks. It's like an in-universe hex map they made. Yeah, we're not dealing that autistic. However, I mean, so if we kind of clear those with, so if we want the gypsies, the Morin, we can operate the Morin are going to get, because effectively all of these guys were mercenaries. All of these guys were effectively mercenaries given territory as payment for their services of being a bunch of fucking mercs. So that was kind of their main way of like, we're going to pay you in the least like productive way possible. We're just going to give you a bunch of land to fuck around in right now. So it's like the Morin may be, so it's like, oh yeah, the Morin own a lot of land, but the Morin really don't own a lot of. What we should do is Adriarch live along these, kind of live in this territory. Pretty much picture like half your land just doesn't speak your language in the slightest. They just hold you in complete fucking contempt. Like, so we need to find our other race. So we've got the Ada. So the Ura are in the mountains. They like the mountains. We're going to give them all of this very mountainous terrain. They live in the mountains. They don't want to fuck with anyone else because they're like, fuck that shit. I am out. I don't want to deal with you. They are fanatically, fuck you, got mine. We've made a lot of money. I'll trade. And we are very large. So this is all the era. Oop. Okay, so Orin are fine. Somi. I were the Somi. If I were a bunch of raiding assholes given a lot of land all of a sudden that was formerly belonged to the Romans, I would probably use the mountains as a natural barrier. Somi dominates the... They're like... The Somi are like frontiers, like tribal guys. So they're like this all. Oop, that. Oh, didn't mean to. Yeah, as you can kind of see, it's just like, let's eat the entirety of the Danon. Like, no, don't eat the Danon. Don't eat the little Danon. They are good people. The Danon only worship their weird fish god. Like, hey Danon, what are you doing? Worshipping fucking elder god? Oh. Like, there's no magic in this setting. That is a very explicit point. There is no magic. None of that bullshit. So, roughly speaking, the Anesians dominated this entire area until they didn't anymore. Until they gave it away to their client states, who now dislike them. Yamete! Like, Universe Hexbag, more strong, but they have the ability to fuck up almost everyone they want militarily. Okay, now give me an ara. But everyone wants to fuck the era. Oh. Would the Somi have any land in just some random spots that's isolated from the main group? Dan and not an asshole Ironborn. The Somi. The Dan and not asshole Ironborn. The Somi. Ironborn. Yeah, the best way to kind of think about it is like, if we want to be really precise about things, comes to like how the Adriarch view themselves. The Adriarch have been fucking mind broken for years. It's literally been 300 years that you haven't had your own nation, while all of your kin have had nations. And the way that they view it is, hey, this is all our land. Why don't we have any more? It's just like, you guys suck, and you don't deserve any fucking land. Because you guys are all fucking lame. Okay, so we're gonna give... The Abba are gonna own this entire... We can probably make the Abba. The Abba own this entire island. I think that's a... We can give... Because the Abba are supposed to be... Because his entire thing, Abaddon was a hunter. That was his entire thing. He's this like fantastic super hunter who shot God with a magic bow. He shot him in the skull with a magic bow. And all of these guys are like, fuck you, we don't want to be bothered. We do not want to be caught in the politics of anyone else. We fucking hate kings. We hate anyone in an authority position. All we want to do is be left completely alone. And as long as you also believe that we should be left completely fucking alone, we're gonna get along swimmingly. If you believe we shouldn't be left the fuck alone, things are gonna get real bad real fast. And we're gonna make it so. Look, someone. A lot of them there. The Rurard. Tadic don't own really anything. The Ruar own pretty much everything. You can find Rurar are like one of the larger groups because they just are everywhere. Because like, oh, every other nation believes that, you know, the land is ours and sacred. Being like, yeah, we literally do believe that the land is ours and we're just gonna farm. Like, that's what we do. We're gonna fucking farm. That's all we do. We farm. We don't want to get into war. We don't care about any of your politicking. You know, if you do go to war against us, we're gonna kill you, but like, we don't really care. It's farming time. It's harvest season. They're spread throughout there, and the final bit is going to be Tadig done. No, not Tadig. The Ruar are done. The Abba are done. We just need to do the Tadig. Tadig are going to be primarily just up here. Kind of the gimmick with the Tadig is that they are by far the most populous of the nation. You can find Tadig anywhere. The problem is, they don't hold territory. They do not care. They migrate. The only place where they really hold territory is up north. Is like where you can find like, yes, this is where we primarily reside. If you were to say, where is your homeland? You would say, oh, up there. But they're also like, I'm from anywhere. So the best way to think about it, well, this isn't necessarily like, how do I want to, here's the best way to kind of word about it. This is not necessarily who's controlling what. This is kind of like saying, primarily speaking, this is the cultural makeup. If you are like, if we do this, for example, if you are right here, for example, you're right here, you are primarily going to be inside of Ura territory. That's kind of the idea. You're going to be primarily inside Ura territory. People there are going to say, when you ask them, who are you? More like, oh, we're this clan from the nation of Earth. And they're like, cool. Now, mind you, there might be a Danon ruler. A Danon could rule the land, but they would primarily see themselves as that. There could be entire swaths of land that are not owned by anyone, but the people living there are being like, vaguely speaking, we're Danon. Or, vaguely speaking, we are part of this culture. That's kind of what this is. This is just like a vague culture map. Like, nothing more really than that. It's kind of that vague idea of like, we are from this culture. How do we want to handle this? Like, where are we actually from? The Cena. We are going to give Cena. Cena are like a weird cult. But they're not really like a like, they're a bunch of, effectively the best way to think about it is the Cena are a bunch of druids. Where did I miss a spot? Probably I missed a spot somewhere. Probably. But hey, it works. But yeah, so this is the vague, like, overall culture map. It's not perfect, but it's something. So if we do that, so now we get to go into the really fun part of actually getting vague lands and territories and splitting all of them up. Oh boy, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun, boys. So, if we want to break these up into like manageable like duchies, that's the main idea here. We want to break the entire land into villages, or like kind of like these broad types of land that people own, that people can, in theory, own. That's a big idea. In theory, you can own this land. This is your own private Idaho. Referencing a movie. This is where things get wonky. So, we are going to start, I guess, actually, no, let's define some things first. Let's play define man game. So here's all our things. Here's all my bullshit lores and stuff. We don't need that anymore. So I'm gonna do. We're gonna hit this button. So how are we gonna split this up? So we're gonna split the domain up. This is what we really legitimately need to do. So generally speaking, we have the 3 civic phases. We have the 3 kind of levels of government. We've got villages. Actually, we can do hamlets. I guess we would do hamlet, the hamlet, the village, the city. So if we do like domain, like, so, boy our lord, village, town. Da 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 da. So, we've got a village, a town, and a city. We've got a priory, a monastery, and an abbey. These are going to probably change slightly. And we've got a keep. We can probably call it a fort, a keep, and a castle. So we've got a fort, a keep, and a castle. So these are our current state of affairs. So probably we're gonna need to priority. City of the Abbey of the Cluny Abbey. What a Porter Canal count. That's going to be more of like a Porter Canal are going to be a feature of a village, town, etc., etc., etc. That's kind of the idea of it. If you are on the coast, you can build a port. That's kind of the idea. So, if we want to be a little bit like, give it something a little bit more funky dunky to work with, we could give it kind of like what I was thinking about doing is making like the Anesians and things. The Anesians, the Morin, and the Somi, they don't actually give a shit about faith, or they have their own way of generating faith. All of the religious buildings on the island are entirely for the Duene. Are entirely for the natives. Those are the ones who like, this is valuable to us. Everyone else kind of views it as like we control this like religious building not because it's like important to us, but because it's important to you. We have that over you kind of thing. Another part of me was like, maybe we should do it like the Anesians have been kind of spreading their own religion. Actually, I know what we can do. Shrine, monastery. What would be a I mean, let's do religious buildings. Religious buildings. Tell me more about religious buildings. Tell me more. Meeting house. Kerk. It's a kerk. Basilica. Tell me more about Basilica. 2nd century Basilica Simonia. Basilica. Kerk. Kirk session, Kirking ceremonies. Scotland, England, British communities, Falkirk, Kirkwall, Hills, Kirktons. Guess we can call it a Kirk. I just find a cathedral, great temple, and you can say all gods are actually our gods. Quite literally, with the idea of the Anesians, what I was thinking about doing is the Anesians show up and they're like, we don't believe in God. What do you mean you don't believe in gods? Well, we don't really believe in gods because we genuinely do not give a shit. We're above them. Being like, oh, cucking ceremony? What? It's a kerking ceremony. You gotta have it with the little Scottish twang to it. It's the kerking ceremony. What, you don't want to get kerked? Want to get kerked, Spartan? Want to kerk all over ye? Skibbity toilet. Remember when Skibbity toilet was a thing? You mean now? Yeah, it's horrible. I hate it. Let me see. So village, we can probably do like just if a village, let's just do, village can be that, a town could be like, it's filled in a little bit, so it's like this, but a full city would just be pure black. I guess we can kind of follow that same convention, like shrines or triangles. Kind of filled in. That's not going to be able to see very well. Black triangle. Because I want to keep this as like simple as physically possible. That is the goal. Keep this as simple as physically possible. I guess we can do like it's half, maybe? Like it's half filled. So it looked like, oh, this is a town because it's half filled, but this is a city because it's completely filled. Wouldn't the Romans be the ones to remove the venestration of the one ancestor if they themselves managed to get over on them? Be the ones to remove the veneration of that one ancestor if they themselves managed to get over on them. That's kind of the idea, is like the Anesians are like, yeah, we worship our hero gods effectively. There were other Anesians who were super fucking cool. So our were better. So it's kind of like, oh, we kind of understand what your fucking, what your actual religious ideas are. We understand them. They're wrong because it's not an Anesian, but like we don't really we don't recognize any greater god than that. There is not a man in the sky to them. There were awesome people who did awesome things, and we should pray to them to make sure that we continue doing awesome shit. And then everyone's like, I want to be as cool as physically possible. So no, like the Anesians are very odd in that regard. But like, yeah, we don't really care about, gods and stuff. Like a shrine, a monastery, and a kirk would quite literally be just that. Like this is the shrine to, Anesian patriots, effectively. The monastery would be this. Being a very religious Anesian would be, I really want to be like my ancestor. Which arguably is everybody setting. I want to be like my ancestor. Except if you're a Danon, and if you're a Danon, you want to be part of a fish cult. If you are the Danon people, you are part of a weird fish cult, and everyone thinks it's weird. Even the natives are like, yep, they have their weird ass fish cult. We're all fucking scared of them because they'll just kill us. so we have that. So this would be 2, 2. So what would this middle one be? That's the question. If we're kind of trying to sort shit out the best, if we're trying to sort shit out the best we can, how would we put this middle one? How would we represent that? Notepad, did you just make bastard bonds? Man, if only. Why do the Indonesians make me imagine like Romulans mixed with Klingons? Ancestor of Gores. Do the symbol with the slash through the middle? Maybe. Effectively, what I need this to do is I need this to pop up on a map pretty easily. And draw. Well, I think we got the basic idea though. So generally speaking, we go to here. And we go to Indonesian territory. We need to find the biggest city in the area. It's going to be a coastal city. We know that much. It's going to be completely... Oop, that's not it. Completely black. It's going to be like right there. This is going to be our largest city. Pretty much the largest city on the continent. It's going to be right there. Largest city on the continent by far. And we're going to do a second city, like right. 2 big cities. One right there. Okay, so. But. Also, want to split these up into their own little fiefdoms. Remember, that's what we need to do. Their own little fiefdoms. So, big cities require big amounts of people. So, what we're going to do is we're going to just follow the lines. So... Actually, if we say that each one is natural territory, but roughly about 2 out. Roughly about 1 or 2 out from them. I don't have tile sizes yet. I'm not thinking about tile sizes too much. So if we do that, this is just one territory. This is just one territory belonging to this city. So if we have, this is the largest city, we do... They control the delta. Part of me wants to do, like, quite literally, it's 1 day is 1 tile. Like, a day of travel is 1 tile. Good night, Notepad. Good night, Notepad. Put the Armenians at the fucking river to ocean meeting. Like the Egyptians. Other districts, bigger cities be like square slash half. With the outer districts of the bigger cities. Again, that's why it's like, I don't quite know how big these are going to be. Put it as 1-to-1 tiles just to fuck with people. I can't. God, no. I'm not that cruel. I am not that cruel. So, I mean, if we want to... If we're doing, like... Technically, what we could do is we could just take this... We could just take this square and we can just move it up here. Make it like Thebes. So, if we want to put things along rivers, we could put this one, like, over here. You... Sure. And still a city, so we're gonna follow our basic laws of functions. The basic laws dictate that you're going to roughly localize. Roll a lot of the river line. Just need to break these up. That's all we need to do. So we've broken these up, so we're going to now break up the... We're going to... Let's do this southern area. We're just going to start breaking up little areas. All we need to do, we're just going to break them up. This is all this stream is going to be. It's going to be me failing miserably to look like I know what I'm doing. This is probably going to be one of the most ambitious, just raw time projects I've done. Simply due to the fact of what I need to do with this. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. He wants a custom map, and he doesn't really give me much to work with, so I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do, 'cause that's who I am. Oh, yeah. We break this up into a smaller little area, smaller little dukedom. Up. So there we go. The Anesian lands have been roughly broken up. We remove the culture map. We remove all of the rest of these things. Probably don't need to X-Men. Kind of get the idea here. The Anesians are in these territories. This is where the Anesians are kind of homed out of. This is what they do. So, Somi territory. Somi territory is going to be much larger. Because this is a lot less tamed. A lot more, let's say... You can maybe do something like bigger territories, but poorer territories. Use the river lines as kind of like natural dividing points. Like the Somi just do not actually manage territory very well in the slightest. And the mountains are just kind of non-territory. No one really dominates the mountains at all. We base it off of this, and we start breaking up the Somi. Nomi are going to be very weird about the rivers. There's going to be a lot of conflict there of who controls the river line. Whoever controls the river controls trade. Controls trade, controls money. Money, money, money. Because we love money here. Because we all want to be rich. Who wants to be a millionaire? Who wants to be a millionaire? Ba-da-bum. Being in a bigger territory doesn't mean it's a richer territory, it just means that there's more of it. Everything is built around the rivers here, so anything one tile away from the mountain is kind of a no-go zone. Fucks with that because worthless to them, it's worthless territory filled with nothing but sadness. And you want to know what we do with places filled with nothing but sadness? Don't fuck with it. Because fucking with it is going to get us killed. No one wants to die. Fuck this shit, I'm out. The main goal is that every single major settlement is going to be proposed by 3 smaller ones. It's going to be kind of a 3-2-1 situation. So they've been liberated and given democracy. The idea is that the Anesians showed up, subverted the will of the people, and said, fuck you, you're mine now. They're like, hey, we don't really want to be yours. And they're like, no, you are. Sorry, we're protecting you. You guys are really bad at protecting yourself, so we're going to protect you. Being like, but we don't want to be protected. Well, too bad. We don't need to be protected. We're fierce, independent people. We're a fiercely independent culture, and we don't need protection from the likes of you. Yeah, how about that civil war we won for you? I'm like, oh, yeah, that was cool. And can we be independent again? No. Aww. Aw, man. Aw, shucks. Gee, Billy, your dad, your imperator lets you be independent? The best part is this entire effort I'm doing here may just be entirely useless, just because it's like, yeah, this isn't what I want, Lamau. I'm waiting for it. I don't think you guys quite know. I'm fucking ready. I'm ready to just feel so emotionally defeated when he's like, nah, this isn't what I wanted. Well, what'd you want? Well, I didn't tell you. Sorry, but this isn't what I wanted. Oh. So this is its own territory. This is its own territory. We use the river line as a way to break things up because, of course, whoever controls the rivers controls the flow of trade. And trade is valuable. Always remember that, kids. The most important thing a culture wants is money. They want power, wealth, and influence. And what's going to bring you that? You're right, rivers. Rivers are going to do that for you. Nothing else in this beautiful world will deliver you more than goddamn rivers. They are the lifeblood of the economy. Okay. Have you ever gaslit someone over a mechanic? Many people. I remember a woman just read my mind. Strictly when it comes to like commission stuff, I've made some heavy suggestions before. I'm like, what you're proposing here just does not fucking function as an idea. Or, hey, this is something I came up with and it's really good. You should totally do this, and and give them some helpful hints about like, hey, this is what you actually fucking want. This is what you actually want, not what you're actually proposing, because what you're proposing is insanity. You are physically hurting me by doing such. Read the Alona RPG. Alona was actually, like, it's funny because it's like, at first I was like, man, Alona is going to be a fucking nightmare. It is going to be a gigantic piece of shit game that there's going to be no good way of doing. But then I actually started working on Alona, and I'm like, oh, this is super simple. I get what, this makes complete sense. I understand. We're gonna break this up into like there's just gonna be two massive chunks up here because it's that low populated that it does not really, there's no natural borders outside the rivers. I guess we'll use the as our kind of like natural border to kind of differentiate who's who. But like, if you play a Tadig, you're like, I want to play a Tadig character who owns land. Here's the secret. If you want to play a Tadig character who owns land, select anywhere else except the Tadig homeland. Up here sucks. There is nothing up here. It is nothing but frozen shit. That's why no one lives up there, and no one wants to live up there. Everything up here is awful. You should avoid it like the goddamn plague. All my friends are dead. I can tell you exactly what's going to go here. This is what's going to go here is a village. There's going to be a big city here, and it's going to be in. And someone says, I want to be from up here, and it's going to be, hopefully you like mining. Because it's mine o'clock, everybody. It's mining time. Hopefully you like doing that, because it's mining time. No. We're kind of, the central area has nothing in it. It's a shitty, terrible place that nobody wants to be because there's no arable land here. No good arable land here. It's just all miserable. Everything is cold and everyone is mad. Because I'm trying to like break things up and being like, this is where people would live, and like, hey, This is like a vague idea of like the vague concept of ownership. People would be like, this is our clan land. Being like, this is my patch of dirt. Being like, yeah. But then there are some places which are clearly like, this is a barely hospitable place. Nobody claims this is their home. And if anyone does live up there, they are homeless, scary people who probably don't have a clan home. They are probably all, you know, fucking homeless, and they want to kill us. Again, these people are fairly independent from each other, so there's going to be a big divide. Let's see, do we have any natural borders? We do have some natural borders here. I'm going to use the natural borders of the river to carve out. There's no really big places out here. That's kind of the problem. There's no big places. A bunch of smaller communities because the Attic do not like government. They do not believe in the government. They do not believe in a centralized rule. They believe that we should support ourselves and our kin. My family is the most important thing to me. Fuck you. Go away. So we've divided that up. We've got this part of the island. We're going, ooh. I'm gonna follow this river. Split this up. Like this. So we split up the Attic territory up a little bit so we can establish some bonds there. And doesn't know what they actually bandit dragon wyvern riders. No wyvern riders in this game, unfortunately. I see you making lines. I like the map. We dwarf maxing. See, like, part of me wants to be like, there are no horses in this. Like, there are no horses. Another part of me is like, that would really kill some aspects of the medieval aesthetic, I guess you could say. Because yeah, don't forget, this is still vaguely medieval. And I do emphasize the concept of vaguely medieval. I want it to be kind of like this weird mishmash of time periods and things. It's down to things like, yeah, the Anesians have guns. There are actual firearms that the Anesians use. And they use them quite a lot. The problem is, the Anesians view them as pretty much very ornamental and very weird, and they don't like people who they use guns almost entirely based on the concept of, I am so fucking cool because I have a gun, fuck you. Everyone's like, oh, I want a gun. Like, can I, hey Mr. Anesia, can I have a gun? No. You get no guns. Oh man. I want a firearm to kill my enemies. Wah, wah, wah. So let's do terrible, terrible land that nobody wants because this is all just fucking nightmares. One of the things like I kind of want to do is like there is like this distinct sense of like, at one point there was a supernatural element to the setting. At one point, there was something clearly weird going on. But that's not happening now. We're being very boring. Like, it's like, at one point, there was this super cool, you know, series of events that went on. Did we have a situation where we killed a god, where our ancestors murdered a fucking god to... you know, to free us from eternal slavery? Yeah, probably. we're like 90% sure that that was an event that actually did occur. Because we could see evidence of their 3-day-long battle. And it was a shit show, and we almost lost, and we almost died. However, it's also like, oh, well, there should be witches, right? Because that was a part of the story. There was a witch who gathered the heroes together. And it was like, well, there are, but they can't do any magic. They just get high in the woods a lot. Like, oh. Like, that's not very magical of you. That's just called drugs. That's not magical. That's drug abuse. That's kind of the thing with the Synods, is this like, yeah, here's like this entire cult that's like, yes, we believe in the old ways. We're super traditional and shit. And then they're like, what do you want? Oh, well, all right. So what do you want from us? Give us money so we can take more magic drugs. I'm like, but why? Why would you take magic drugs with our money? Because we just are, okay? We're trying to find God. Like, oh. It's bores. I don't know. Like, part of me just wants to throw in that weird bit, like, there are no horses in setting. Nobody uses a goddamn horse. You just march and you just go along, and there is just something else. It's like you don't have a horse. Just one of those weird notes of like, yeah, it's just a thing that is like, that isn't a thing. Give them llamas. It's arguably too cold for llamas. Yeah, we need horses rule. We need horses. Kill part of the CK2 mountain plate. Is that a hex grid? Yes, it is a hex grid, Horace. Let's see. Could be interesting. Crusader Kingdom supernatural stuff where you don't know if it's real or just superstition of the leaders and the peasants. Yeah, that's kind of the idea, is like, there are these clear weird moments of like, yeah, we can clearly see it. Like, we can clearly have artifacts from way back in the day. I believe it would be clan. Let me bring up the lore doc real fast, because there's one of them. It was, yeah, it's like the Otta, the Ado, with his mystic dagger. Like, they legitimately, there was a family who has a magic dagger made by dwarves, quote unquote. And if you were to ask the Ura, being like, hey, what's up, guys? You know, yeah, they have Urod's axe. Urod's axe is a gigantic axe that cannot be wielded by a normal human being. And everyone's like, yeah, this is his legitimate axe. We've had it in the, we've traded it multiple times for favors inside of the families and stuff. And it's like, oh, but is this just a giant ceremonial thing someone's been fucking with us about? Maybe. We genuinely do not know. Like, that's kind of the problem. Is like, there is that, like, there's kind of like an idea of like, ooh, there's some mysticism going on here. Ooh. And the other half is like, ooh, this fucking sucks. Like, you're just a bunch of charlatan assholes. Charlatans, the lot of you. Going to carefully move around the awful barren wasteland of shit that sucks terribly and nobody wants to be. So what is this land? What can you farm here? Nothing. You farm absolutely nothing here. You farm nothing but dirt because God hates you. What do we farm here, sir? Nothing. You farm absolutely nothing. 'cause there's nothing here. Oh. May we have one thing to farm? No, you may not have anything to farm. Can we grow potatoes? Sorry, no potatoes. Oh man, I really wish for some potatoes. Sorry. Yeah, see, that's gonna be like one of those fun things I always have to like remember is like, yeah, there probably wouldn't be the idea of a potato yet. Like, so this is sucky sucky nightmare awful land of awfulness that nobody likes. Let me just make sure that everything, oh god, okay, that's not filled correctly. Oh god, this is filled correct. No god. There's like little cracks everywhere that I have to like go through, but there's some that are completely filled up. Alright, so we need to control the river delta. Control the river, you can have a lot of lucrative trade, and there's just going to be a fucking fort there. That's all that's going to be there is a giant fort. And what does that fort do? It protects the river. Does anything else happen here? No, it's a place for the support the river. Gee willikers, I really hope there's something good and nice here that we can feed our families with. So we've sectioned off. If we do this, we've managed to section off about half the map at this point. We've got about half of the map currently sectioned off for our ends. You kind of see the way that the entire map is laid out. Like some of these bigger territories here, like, yeah, like this is just a nothing territory. There is nothing of value here. Oh boy, I wonder what's here. Hills. It's hills and dirt. Nobody likes it here. Nobody wants it here. No one's happy. Everyone's just miserable and cold. Miserable and cold, so green. Like, yeah, when I generated this map, I put it a little bit far north because you see this area right here, this giant hilly nightmare, like giant mountainous nightmare zone. This is a glacier. In the how it generated, it was like, yes, this is a gigantic glacier. I'm like, oh, based. All right, yeah, cool. I can work with that. Welcome to the wonderful world of fighting over trade resources, 'cause nobody's happy with one another, and we're going to fight over stupid stuff like the access to the river. Now, if we want to be really bad, we can just say that the river people up here are their own thief. Thiefdom, yes, the thief. The thief. Yeah, no, I'm feeling that it's gonna be like, it's gonna be very pastoral. Like most of the people here are like, yeah, you farm. Yes, you can farm, but like you're not farming a lot, kind of thing. You are farming very much a subsistence lifestyle. As most people are. Like, that's not like a, oh man, life is hard, being like, yeah, because you live in this shithole. Like, the Indonesians are going through, like, their 5th civil war, and it's like, you don't even have a full fucking garrison here. Like, this isn't even, like, full strength. This is like half strength, the Indonesian army. You know, what's supposed to be here. The only reason the Indonesians didn't conquer everything is because guess what? Getting through the mountains is not fun. Why don't we make a relatively decent sized section? We're gonna probably have to split this territory up into like threes, maybe 3 parts. Because if we break it up into 3 parts, so we've got this section, we break this up along the river. Yeah, natural rivers, like natural. We like natural breaks in the scenery. So we've got 1 here, 1 here. So that actually enables us to get a nice little fief right up here. You got a little bit of cultural bleed. You got some cultural bleed issues, but I mean it's kind of like, yeah, we are nominally together. You live in the mountains because they make a lot of fucking money off of raiding in. If you have a metal weapon, it's coming from the Ura. Because they farm all the metals from the giant mountain range that is in... Let's try to finish you. You're a very large fief full of nothing, it looks like. So... So let's see, we can add in... You are in a decent position, you're just very open. Let's try to add in a very well-to-do area here. See, the worst part is, every single place I put down and every single fief or anything like that, I actually have to give it a name later. That's the real pain of the situation. I need to give all this shit names. Have I ever told you how much I hate naming things? It's the worst. I am very terrible at naming. I would like to be like, oh, I'm secretly like this guru at naming things. I'm not. I am terrible at naming things. All of my city names, all of my country names, all of that shit has dog shit names. Not even funny dog shit names, just bad. Just terrible. And I would like to be like, well, secretly I'm a fucking genius. No, I'm not. I'm fucking terrible at it. Because the thing with like especially places, like, and cities especially, is there's a lot of context to things. Like, that's how a lot of names, or like names of towns or cities or anything like that is actually made, is context. It's like, we don't call something this because we feel like it. We call it because there's some reason. It's like, oh, we call this place Watertown because it used to be a town full of water. Or it's like, what do we call this town? Jubilee. Why? Because there was a thing called the Jubilee here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Fucking Supreme Commander theme going through my fucking head. I actually like Supreme Commander. Like, my friends don't like playing it with me because I'm a disgusting bot rushing, horrible human being. I have a very specific build, and if they don't immediately go space, I pretty much dominate the game. However, they have learned my tricks, and they immediately go space, and I'm very bad at my space game at Supreme Commander. Yeah, God, let me see. A lot of glaciers programmed. Yeah, Asgars. Yo, I recommend checking out the Hermetic Orders and Crusader Kings too, and great low magical stuff for the setting. That's a good thing. CK3 kind of does it. They farm the metal from the mountain range. I told you how to do fantasy now. Heck, naming like Pokemon during Nuzlocke. They could be worse. Reject invented words. Embrace the dictionary. I too hate naming things. That's why I won't have children. You were producing a logical paradox. Oh, we've got a manly co-host. Of course, we have our bravest knight. Oh, jeez. Ah! I'll have you know there will be. Welcome to the Notepad Anon Sprug Workshop, a gay hookup space. That's 95% of my server at this point, just homoerotic hookups. Half of them are having horrible gay sex with one another. The other half are having, not horrible gay sex with one another. And then we have Pepper. God, Pepper makes everything worse. She's a woman. Mashallah. Inshallah, a woman in my gay hookup server. God, what will they come up with next? Yeah, we are entering Danon territory now. And Danon territories are going to be almost entirely based off, guess what? Boats. They're going to be boats. Da 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 da. Need to work on my fucking space game. Do 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 do. My space game needs some work. So we need to think about the clan homes here are going to be like to keep to themselves. Any place there are tattig, it should be pretty rigid lines of this is who we are, fuck off. We accept no government from another. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, right. Yeah, right, buddy. You do you. Like, now we get to do Ura fucking thieves, which we have to worry about it building into the side of the mountain because they build log. Because hey, this is our ancestral homeland, and where the giants live. Wink, wink. So because it's where the giants live, wink wink, if you tread on us, we will kill you. Like, oh. We will protect the mountain homes. Oh, you think dwarves live here? Sorry. This is giant territory, not manlet territory. Rock and stone this. Rock and stone my dick. Because, like, that should be, like, that's one thing I'm going to have to, like, kind of reinforce is, like, it's not like the other nations like one another. It's not like, oh, well, we're united against an oppressor. They're like, no, you fucking bastards, you're part of the wrong culture. You're part of the wrong people. And because you're part of the wrong family, you know, I'm going to, you know, declare a feud against you and your kin because you are all horrible monsters and deserve nothing but the sword. You know, I'm gonna kill you now. It's like if you play Indonesian, if you play any of the invaders, quote unquote, you are playing a very different game than if you're playing with the clans. Like, that's kind of the feeling I want to get across is, hey, Manly dies in an hour. Oh yeah, I'm blessed because I'm not a woman. Because, like, it's kind of the idea is, like, yes, we work together to, you know, ward off the threat of the Indonesians. Yeah, but I'm gonna still, like, I still have a blood feud with you, you disgusting Tadig. I would like nothing more than to tear your head off and shit down your throat because I hate you that much. Like, oh, yeah, it's not racism to, like, yeah, there is a little bit of that idea of, like, you belong to the wrong people. And that's why the Indonesians were pretty easy able to keep control of things. It's like, yeah, these people govern themselves because all we need to do anytime one starts getting uppity is say, hey, we'll offer anyone who can deal with them money. And they're like, yeah, everyone suddenly hops to the opportunity to fight their ancient rivals. Ah, cool. Like, the Morin are going to be more like, hey, you're strangers in a strange land. Like, the Morin are going to be friendlier. That makes sense. It's just like, hey, we want to work with you guys because we're not from around here. Like, do we integrate? It's kind of like, how much do you choose to integrate and how much do you choose to force them to adapt to your ways of life? That's kind of the struggle with the Morin and the Somi. While the Somi are very much more less friendly in their approach. It's, you know, it's like, hey, we own you now. Because we legitimately own you, you do not have a say in this anymore. We are the dominating factor. We are the ones in charge. If you have any problems with this, you can go to hell. You know, no, more accurately, we'll send you to hell. If you're playing an Indonesian family, it's more along the line of like, hey, we're kind of like, we've entered a point in our history, of our family's history, where we really need to make a choice of, do we go native or not? Because we're going to need to make that choice here very quickly, because there isn't much time left before this whole Indonesian thing. Like, the Indonesian Empire has fallen, billions must die. Total Indonesian death. Da da da. Go. Yeah, we can connect everything. We just need to figure out how we want to... If we break it up like this... We break things... Ow. If I cough up a lung and die... Well, that's kind of the thing with the matriarchs. Like, there is a entire nation that was conquered by the Anesians. They have no territory to call their own. There are Anesian, there are Adriarch rulers, but not really. That's the problem. There are not really many of them, but they are completely in it. Because they were like, oh, well, we're paying you for you to bring us culture. We like building cities. We like being very concentrated. We're importing culture from you. That's what we're paying you for. While the Anesians were like, man, these guys keep giving us fucking money for tribute. Why? That's so weird. Being like, why are you guys giving us tribute money? That's kind of funky. We're not going to say no, though. Like, that's cool. Pray I do not alter the deal further. That's like the entire impetus of the, the situation with the Anesians is, hey, we thought you guys, we're trying to buy culture from you. We're trying to buy, statues and, try to import various facets of your way of life to our way of life. And the Anesians were like, man, that's really funny because we don't care. Like, we just do not. You are willingly paying us money to leave you alone. And what if we, bear with me here, what if we don't leave you alone? What are you gonna do about it? We're gonna rebel, being like, you already speak our language. You speak our language, you wear our clothes, you are pretty much us at this point. So if you want to play kind of like a Nijaboo, it is entirely possible to do this. You just play an Adriarch. And your clan is in a weird state of being where it's like, yeah, you kind of are invested in the whole Anesian way of life, and you do kind of listen to the Tyrus. Like, you listen to a guy who legitimately calls himself the Tyrus. Because he is the tyrant. Like this is not a funny haha joke thing. Like, he is a horrible human being, but he is also, he does also speak the language you speak and all your people speak. And like, SpaghettiOs. You're owned by the Roman authority. Romans, go home. Sorry, the Romans do not wish to go home. Good old Lunars. Like, what if, bear with me here, what if we listened to the Lunars? What if the Lunars did nothing wrong? What if, just throwing this out here, we submit to the Lunars and we abandon the Orlanthe way? How about that? What if we do that? What if we completely ignore our ancient heritage? Wouldn't that be wacky? Yeah, I know, it would be wacky. What I think we should do. Where do the damned live? The damned live away from you. Yeah, we've one just long county. Loong. Going to establish some little bit more natural borders. We do something like this, it kind of, I think hopefully this gives a better idea of like everyone has access to the lake here, but these are very separate counties because no one's gonna live up here. That's kind of the problem of no one lives up there. Yeah, who lives up here? No one lives up here. This is also going to be kind of the, hey, you don't want to play in any of these other counties? Why don't you set yourself up here? Well, we could probably throw in. Da 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 da. Welcome to the 100 Kingdoms. The 100 Kingdoms is like my favorite part of Exalted and will always be one of my favorite parts of Exalted. Just this entire stretch of land just filled with nothing but misery. Just absolute fucking nightmares. Because it's just filled with hundreds of small little kingdoms that are completely unique to one another and all dislike one another. I always find that very fascinating because you can, that's kind of like the choose your own adventure area. Can I use your server to run a few games? Yeah, if you want to. You need a clan that is roaming the boot. Yeah, if you want to, if you can get people to join you, then sure, yeah, that's perfectly fine. All right, I believe that is every. I just very dramatic and very scary. Yeah, okay. So, here's what we're yes. We need to merge. Okay, so the domains are set up. We've got everything set up here. Some domains just don't have anyone in them. So now we're going to establish holdings. So what we need to do is we need to establish a convenient area for just reference. All we need to do, just for reference. So we're going to city. Town. Town. Maintain the same size consistently because we like consistency. Village. Now, the big thing is, the village is by far the basis of all things. This is the big thing. This is the basis of all things. So we're going to do Rhine. Kirk. Yep, we got a Kirk. What you doing? What you doing in there? Being a little bit quirky? Being a little bit quirky? You wouldn't be a little bit quirky, would you? That'd be a little bit cringe. Let me this and you up as fort. Fort Keep Castle. Keep Castle. Okay, so first things first, we're going to establish every city on the map. This is what we're going to do. So we've got 3 cities down here. So we need to start establishing where the cities are. Where would we put? We're going to put 4 cities down. Okay? We're going to put 4 cities down. Now, Where should city 1 go? North, east, or west? Let's just determine this now. Northeast or west? All 7 of you. If you don't vote, now. I will roll the dice. We need 4 cities. That's all we need. So, we're going to put 4 additional size 3 cities down. That's the idea. We need 4 additional size 3 cities. These are the biggest cities on the continent. Well, not really continent, island. These are the big ones. The 3 down here are Anesian. These are Anesian urban centers. These are the biggest and the baddest areas. Where would the other 4 cities be? Now, so we've got one for West, which is kind of like saying west. So we're going west. So we're going to put down a city. We're going to put down a city in one of in this, we'll say this general vicinity. So if we want to put down a city, we can probably put one right there. Put one of the cities down there, right along the coast. Boom. Okay. Second one. Where are we dropping? We've got 3 more cities. By the totally accurate Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Let's see. So, where would we want to put a city in our awesome place? By our cool lake. So we're going to put it by our cool lake. Let's put a city right here in this area, in this tile right here. There's going to be a city there. Boom. Okay, we need 2 more cities. So, do we want to go north or do we want to go south? Western on the little island. All right, little island city. There we go. Get good trade going on there. We could say it's Anesian even. 1 more mega city. It could be anywhere you all want. North, south, east, west. Does not matter. Where are we dropping, boys? Where are we fucking dropping? Here's the entire map. Any place you see a square is a city. The biggest cities are down south currently, Anesian territory. We've got 1 city on the far west. Actually, we got 2 cities on the west and 1 city in the east. And we have none up north. Straight in the northwest. So kind of like right around here. Yeah, okay, so we'll put one around here. So, let's see. We can put one like... Okay, this is an important question. This is another important question because if I do this, SpaghettiOs, we've got a culture issue. So, who do you think should get the cool city? The super cool, awesome city? Should we give it to the farmers who like farming? Or should we give it to the weird forest people who want to hang out in the woods? Oh, like the tip of the archipelago? Like up here even? Like up here? That would be amusing. Oh, good. So we're seeing the weird forest people deserve the city. So should we give it, again, the weird forest people, and we got to change it because it's not going to be the humble farmer people anymore. Do we want to give it to the weird bard people? or do we want to give it to the forest people? So we've got the we are literally everywhere, we are literally nowhere else. 100% to the weird forest people. Alright, Forest Nation. Alright, cool. We're gonna put it right here, so it has a very commanding presence over the strait. There we go. Every single city has been placed. So, what does this tell us? What's an interesting note about this? We can very much tell that the western side of the continent of the island is way more urbanized. There are a lot more people over here because there's actually cities. So, next, we're going to put down a bunch of religious places. Now, these are the Kirks. The Kirks are the biggest, most important religious buildings into the entire, island. These are going to be the most powerfully, connected religious buildings available. There are going to be, we're going to roll. So let's, let's roll a D8. Let's roll a D8. There are going to be a total of 8 Kirks. We have 8 Kirks, everybody. So, with 8 Kirks, they built one city, a single one. Yes, we have 8 Kirks to distribute. So, is 8 their holy number? Technically, it's 7. So that could be a little bit interesting to talk about because the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it's 7. See, no, this is even funnier because again, the Anesians have been here for about 350 years. Take that as you will. So we're going to keep it at 8. There are 8 exact Kirks here. So, they forgot they built one. That's the dumbest lore. Yeah. So, hey, who knows what happened? So let's determine our first 2. We'll randomly choose. Actually, let me get a D10 out. So we're gonna roll a D10. And it's going to be it's going to be a D5. Just determine where are we dropping our very first Kirk. So if it's 1, it's going to be north. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So let's roll. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. We are 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1 in the west. I am completely unfazed by this. So we've got a big city here. Let's put this over, what would be a nice, populous area? I think this would be fairly populous. We could probably put a big one right at, let's put it right dead center. There we go. So that's 1. We're going to place 4 more randomly down. We've got another one in the west. Okay, we've got a second Kirk in the west, everybody. A second Kirk has been dropped. So, where should we put the second a second super holy religious area into this general vicinity? In this general vicinity here. Where do y'all feeling? Middle of the glacier, tip of the peninsula. I'm seeing tip of the peninsula. All right, so we're going to the very tip. There are 2 incredibly important ones. So, we're gonna put one we'll put it right here. It's the furthest physical north you can get. So, just so we don't get any more in the west. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's roll. We have 1 in the south, so I have a feeling, where do we want to put the third holiest site in the entire area? Where do we want to put this third holy site in this gradual area? Middle of the mountain range. Okay, we've got 1 for middle of the mountain range up here, I take it, or we can go down. again, we're in the south currently. We haven't rolled center yet. We're right down here in the south. Where do we want to put it? Right down here in the south. Just kind of giving everyone an indication. Right around here. I'd kind of even allow it up here. So it's kind of looking like this. In the primarily Anesian controlled area. This is an important note. This is the primarily Anesian controlled area. I like the idea of the mountains, but to the west. All right, so it's kind of like right here. So you have the one of a big city, and then the right next to it a big kirk. All right, that's understandable. That's 3 kirks down. Let's roll our 4th kirk. I said let's roll our 4th kirk. We got another one in the south, guys. We've got another kirk in this. Another kirk has been dropped in the south. So anywhere here, anywhere that is currently on screen can a kirk is worthy. So we have what we've got one for the ice closest to the ocean. So let's see. At the start of the river. So which river? This is very important. Are we aiming for more of the southeastern or southwestern? I should say. Southeastern or southwest? So I'm seeing southeastern. So start of the southeastern river. Let's do it. Let's slap a kirk down right here, right in the firm hands of a non-religious group. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4. So in our current state of affairs, we've got 4 more kirks to put down. Where do we want to put these kirks? We've got 4 more. Big river. Middle of the atheist area. They're trying to convert them. Ice. So we're seeing one for the middle of the fucking mountains. So, alright. So let's try to find, like, a nice area for a kirk out here in the middle of fucking nowhere. So let's put one. We can put a kirk right out there. Just right in the fucking mountains. Like, hey, fuckheads, you wanna meet God? Okay, so that we got 3 more kirks. Or anywhere on this beautiful map of ours. Any place of your choosing. What a beautiful day. The bridge in the northern peninsula. Alright, so like right around here. That's understandable. A nice big holy building owned by the forest people, no less. There we go. So if you ever want to cross into their land, you gotta cross through the biggest holy site in the area. We got 2 more. Peninsula of the furthest east. Right at the tip of it. Perfect for sailing around the coast. So kind of like right around here, Spartan. Are you kind of see that? Actually, no. Right around here-ish. Let's see. Let me think. What would be a good... Yeah, we're going to put one, like, right... We can put one, like, right here. There we go. That's a nice little divot, even. Just kind of like, here's just some really inconvenient, big holy area. Kind of like a lighthouse as well. So, that's Danon's point. Alright. One more super religious place. Oh, you want to do it like right down here? Yeah, we can do. Let's shift you. We can put you there. Put it like right there. That's fine. We got one more. So where are we dropping for our final one? Southeast. Yep, that is going to be a fairly important one. So, congratulations. We have successfully put down every kirk in the area. So, we now need to do castles. We're gonna roll D10 plus 2. We're gonna do D10 plus 2 castles. Now, there are gonna be a lot of castles, or there can be very few castles. There are 3 castles in the entire place. I rolled a 1. So, because there are 3 castles, there are 3 actual like super fortresses. That's the best way to think of a castle in this idea. These are fortresses. So, I'm gonna ask, who do you believe? I should ask, who do you believe should have a castle? Do you believe the Anesians should down here? Do you believe the Somi, or the Morin, or who are we thinking? Who do you think deserves a castle? Who are we thinking? We got 3 big castles. Who we feeling, boys? It could be any one of your beautiful choices. And remember, it cannot be in the same province as any other of the major buildings. That's a big thing. Cannot be in the same province. I'll let you mull over. If you want an explanation of any of these, feel free to ask. I will give you an explanation on them. For a quick rundown, the brown province, white pig border. All right, so we're gonna give the Morin. Oh, didn't mean to do that. We're gonna give the Morin a castle. So let's see. We already have one down there. We're gonna give them a. Let's see. We are gonna do that because this isn't actually inhabited down here. So we're gonna give them like one right. We can give them one right on the border with, actually, let's see. This is kind of an uninhabited shit zone. But I guess you know what we can do? I guess we could spruce this up a little bit. Oh, it's struggling. Let's see. We can do it in the big province or the tiny province. We've got some, let's see. So we've got some. We can do it on the big province. There we go. We'll do it on the small province. So it's kind of like the thing there. All right. Okie dokie then. We've got 1 castle placed down. We need 2 more big castles placed down for any of our good friends. Any of our loyal companions and friends and companions and any of that bullshit. We can have them. We'll say anyone who is north of the Somi or the Morin or the Anesians, their castles are going to be a little bit different. Going to be more built for purpose, if that makes sense. We're going to look a little bit more native. So we got a few options here. And it's funny looking at the culture map of like how things got split up. I'm looking at some of these domains that are very split. I'm like, oh, SpaghettiOs didn't mean to do that. But yeah, it looks like we've got some. We got a little. We've got overlap for sure. We've got some overlap. We got some big overlap over here. We've got some. We've got a little bit of overlap here, but it's very ethnic here. A lot of conflict happening over here. A lot of conflict happening up here. It's the nature of the beast, I guess. The nature. That's the nature of the beast. You know what? Let's put a castle. Let's put a castle in kind of more of an aggressive. We put a castle right there. That's kind of like on the board. So it's kind of like, hey, fuck you. We've conquered this area, and we're gonna kind of take over more things because now they're opposed to like, hey, we're gonna sweep upward. Whoever owns this province right here now has a lot of authority on all the provinces around them, including you can also say it's like, oh, you're threatening the Anesian homeland at that point. Okay, we've got one more. We've got one more castle. Let's see, where do we want to put this final castle? We can give the Somi a second one, or we can give the Mirin, or we can give the Anesians. Part of me just doesn't want to give the Anesians any, because I find that so this is the current cultural makeup. If you want an explanation of how the cultures operate, feel free to tell me. Feel free to ask. Western Land Bridge blue, so right in the middle there. All right. This is uninhabited zones. That's kind of the idea. So we want to put one like right there. Okay, I'm seeing. Yeah, like this area right here is actually uninhabited. There's no one here. So the big castle would go about right. Trying to think of like a good place to put it. So if we put it right there, that means it's kind of like an aggressive province. Very much protecting in the homeland kind of thing. Yeah, alright. You know, big city. We've got a city. We've got the big castle nearby. Yeah. Again, all this territory is pretty open. Okay, so this is where things start getting a little bit wonkier. I'm going to be a little bit more freewheeling with it. So we're going to need to put down towns. So we're going to put down, let's see, any province that does not have any major ones is going to get. Let's just check how many towns we're going to work. How many towns we're going to work with? We're going to work with, we're going to say 8 towns. So we're going to, who would be, we're going to make you fairly big. We got 1 town. Two town. Three town. Four town. Five town. We know that this side of the continent is much more developed, so we're going to do town. 7 town. Town. Nesians are going down right there. Down right. The Indonesians make a shit ton of money. They have very little defense. So we need to put in, no one lives out there, but we're going to put a town right on the border. We have a town there, so we don't need any more towns. We already have a city leading into that. Going to put a town right there, so we have a lot of border. We got a lot of people are trading with each other down the coast. That's kind of the idea. Boom, 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 boom. Trade naturally flows. You, on the other hand, you are gonna go right there. Trade naturally flows around the coast. Here is kind of the same idea. We're not going to see... I'm going to see a town like right... I'm going to see a town like right up here. Boom, boom. You sail into here, and you can make a choice. You can go all the way through here. You can drop off to the other city. So it's kind of like you could do the northern expedition, which you hit a few towns, you go here, and then you loop around, or you can do the southern way, which is a lot richer, but it's a little bit more complicated. This city right here, I can guarantee you, this is one of the wealthiest cities in the entire island, by a metrics of dozens. Super far northeast. Spider Riders, specialized union who are Spider Riders? Spider Riders. Yeah, because like currently, like right now, you have 2 places that you can deliver goods to. It's a very rich city. We're gonna put a town over here. Towns are very nice. Town. Put a town up here because actually no, we're gonna put a town down by the river because the rivers are natural places they want to go. We're going to have 1 town form around here, very small though. Nothing is really big to justify that. You're just a giant fucking culture bomb. Good put me. So we don't have a lot of population in the heart of the... Pretty much everything out here is a lot less dense. You stick along the coasts, or like the coastlines are going to be the densest populated cities. Anytime you see like these areas, this is going to be fairly dense. This is going to be fairly dense. Along the coast is dense. But like anything throughout here is going to be real specialized or really concentrated. You know, you see some oddities like this, but that's more of like a, hey, we're actually, you know, I can probably move, you know, let's move it. We move it up here, we could treat it as if it's, you go down the river. So you ship all the goods down the river onto into that city. So there's a little bit of a connection there. We still have the city, but it makes a little bit more sense. We see, actually, no, that's the fortress. Yeah, no, the fortress would still work pretty well there. You know, it's kind of the idea of like, you're protecting the riverways. Yeah, that would work. We got you along the river. We've got you along the river. We've got river. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Religiously minded buildings. Where are we going to be slapping? The monasteries. So, monasteries, we're going to have... we're going to have a lot of monasteries. So that is fine with me. So these can actually be... these can be in the same province. Say that. These can be in the same general province. So we're going to slap... actually... we were talking about it. We can slap a little monastery up there. Actually, no. We're going to put the monastery there. Let's put the monastery, like, right here. We can put, like, the monastery, like, right up here. It's kind of a shitty monastery, but hey, shitty monasteries need love. Let's see. Good land. We can put that right on... put that right on the river. Right on the river, baby. We can put this right on the river, so we know. Why isn't this river very good? There's a church there. We need a religious center around here. We can put... If we put the religious center right here, that's going to influence the area a little bit. So let's not put it like right up here, maybe. If we put it like right up here, this means the people who control this area are now in possession of one of the... It's an incredibly poor area, but there is a church there, so people are a little bit more inclined to live there. We don't want to live here, but the gods are literally telling us to live here. You know, everything is built around the monastery, very little else. So who doesn't have a building? You don't have a building yet, which I think I know what I want to put here. You don't have a building yet. You don't have a building yet. This is all uninhabited nightmare zones. We can slap some monastery. We're going to slap a monastery on this island. We're going to slap a monastery. Let's put a monastery like right on the far edge here. Forest people, do not build shit. News at 11. Got some good monasteries here. We've got some good. Ooh, we have more religion out here. Want to have more religion. Add religion. Got a big center up there, big center there. Don't believe we add any. That believes us with keeps. Keeps are going to be built in defensive positions. A keep is in a place that we need to defend. The people are going to be able to naturally build keeps. They want to build keeps to keep others away. They're going to build keeps to protect themselves. So if we're going to build keeps to protect ourselves, we're going to build them in areas that need to be defended. We can be a giant asshole and put this a little bit aggro. So whoever owns this province has a lot of aggression on them. But we can put another... But we can put one... So if you put a keep right there, that's pretty much saying, like, I'm threatening this city. So this does mean this guy can easily take this city. But the only one stopping it would be a power play down here and down here. Keep right there, protect the city, that's all that matters. Put a keep right there, protect the town, protect the river line, that's all that matters. Right here, protect the river line, because now you have a defensive position in this area. You have this keep right here, which can defend things. You have this keep, actually, no, we don't need that. There's already a big fucking fort there. There's a castle there. We don't need it there. Where else would we? I guess out of the way. Here. It would not hurt to have more on the borderland. They do not like one another. They're going to build their keeps into the mountains, effectively. Being like, fuck you, get away from territory. Fuck you, Leatherman. Hey, no, fuck you. Don't really have any defenses around here, so we can put a keep let's put a keep right here, and we're gonna have 2 villages. We're gonna have a village support it. So in this current state of affairs, the Anurians. I'm contracting secondhand Asperger's from watching this process. Welcome to world building. See, I told people I don't like world building. This is what happens to me. Autism happens. Rampant, undiagnosed autism. Release the autism. Release your full power. Let's say, practical standpoint, you'd have 2 to 3 villages per small fort and more than that per city. Yeah, that's the usual, like, basics of it. I have no... I guess we could do, like, 2, 3 provinces there. We don't really need any more forts. So, okay. So now we get into autism over heaven, in which villages are going to support literally everything else. So get ready for village time. So if that's a small fort, we're gonna put 2 villages here. That's a town. We're gonna put 1 village over here because if you're gonna be able to feed the town a little bit more. Actually, no, we put 1 village up here. So you feed it down the river a little bit. Remember, the rivers are important. We like the rivers. The rivers keep us alive. That and smaller villages along there. Villages must always... We're going to make a hard and fast rule that villages must be built next to something valuable, or at least like a reason to exist. You're at the end. City. We're going to get another one, like 3 villages, kind of right there. Actually no, that's a castle. So we only need 2 villages. That's a city. 1, 2, 3. We got 3 villages supporting the city, 2 villages supporting the castle. We got a town here. That means we're going to get a village there. We got a monastery. We got the big monastery there. We're going to do that. They all support the kirk. Town, you're gonna get that. We have the kirk up here. So if we just have the kirk, we're going to put down 2 villages. They're going to support the kirk, and we can put something more down here. We just have 1 village there. Use support, nothing more. We've got a big town up here. Not the town, and we're going to be using the idea that you are, again, coastal. Everything is coastal. We can even do something like that. So it's like, oh, hey, you have all of these things support the city. Kirk, so we are going to get 1, 2, this fucking smorgasbord of an area. Terrible area. Nothing happy happens there. To the kirk, we're going to add in there. It's just a fort. We're just going to put down a single village right there. This is a city, so it's going to be 1, raiding time to... So you have 3 villages lined up. You do a route. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You dump it off there. They dump it off upstairs. They travel up. This is more of a shipping area more than anything. If you're in the fort, actually no, it's a fort. So what am I fucking thinking of? I don't need... Yeah, if it's a fort, we just need the 2 villages. That's a town up there. That's a town up there, so we need 1 more up the village. That we're just gonna do one there to give people a bit more to live for. City. City has... If I want to be real, like, focused on things, it should be like things are supporting others. But I'm not worrying about it. But I'm going to put something else there. So, that, yeah, the town is built around here. Nothing is really built around there. We can probably put a fort there. That's kind of like why it's maybe not doing so hot. There. I'm looking at places that just don't have anything for trade, and we're going to slap a village there. Like, this is an actual, like, location with actual human beings. That's, to give you an idea, if you are starting out playing this game, you are going to select one of these as your starting point. You are from there. You are from nowhere else. Big Kirk. 1, 2. We got 2 villages there. We don't need to worry about that. Got nothing there. We've got... let's do this. There. We need to put a village there. We need to put there. You village here, village here, village here. Right down the river. All that matters. Down the river, down the river, down the river. Problems if you're very rich with profit, with a profit. This is a I'm gonna put two villages there. They pay fealty to that. This is a horrible nightmare place. Shitty village no one likes to be in. So let's play a quick game. Looking around. If we go from the top, you've got a village, you've got a village, you've got a village, you don't have a village. Let's give you a village. Congratulations, you now have a brand new village. It's on the coast. You're going to get a second village right there. You don't really have anything in here. I'm going to need to work with. That's a single church. Congratulations, there's a village here. You have nothing down there. You have that. Have nothing. You town because everyone hates you and no one likes to be here. That's the village is developed down the road here, and then we actually have some decent sized ones here. So it all goes down the big river here. Everything goes down the river. The most important thing in the entire world. So everything is built along this kind of river system here. We've got lots of villages along the coasts. There, we have nothing really in this province. Let's throw a single village there, a single village there. If it's an empty province, we need to give it something to do. Going to give it something to do. We'll give it a village. Now we're going to hunt for empty provinces. Are you an empty province? Congratulations, you're getting a village. A single shitty village that nobody wants to be in. Empty province alert. A village. Empty province alert. You're getting a village. River. Village. Technically, you could give 2 villages to this one, and it would still be too small. There's, look how big this fucking province is. We could probably shrink that, but I'm not going to. Because I find it funny. This is all uninhabited shit territory that no one wants to live in. You have any empty provinces? You have some empty provinces. Village. Village. 2 villages. 2 cats. Go. There. Oh, we've got a few empty villages. We got a few empty provinces over here. We're gonna put a village there, and we're gonna put one right on the corner here. You sail inside. Boom, boom. You sail deeper in. You can go down the river a little bit. Get that sailed in. You see this is kind of like a quiet port town. You see a town, and then you hit the kirk. Yeah. Anyway, de facto lordships like Western Europe to isolate communities like China, militant orders like in Japan. It's always first object monasteries, villages, not so have many. So monasteries are... The best way to think of monasteries in this particular setting is that they are, how would I want to word this? Effectively, they are communities built around worship, if that makes sense. They are not really the idea of, like, lordships necessarily. Like, the mid-tier ones anyway. They're not necessarily like worship. The kirks are. The kirks are effectively... city-sized monastery, like city-sized areas. Like there's a city built around this place of worship, and they're not as big as cities. They're not as defended as castles, but they hold a lot of cultural influence. Whoever holds this city holds a lot of cultural power. If you have that cultural power, you have a lot of, you know, power over other people around you. So that's kind of the best way to kind of think about it. Like they do have that same kind of authority. Hence why I'm kind of giving them a little bit more than probably what's needed. A little like the shrines would be like village-sized versions of those. That's why I'm being a little bit. Some of them are going to get just like a shrine instead. So we do this. We've established everything. Actually, let's put a village right here. If you want to play up in the Tadig territory and say, I want to start this village, you have a lot of room to fuck around in, but it's a lot of empty space because it's very, very lightly so if you probably want to start up here, maybe you want to try to like work for the town and kind of take over this area. The idea is this is a big cultural zone. This is a big place of commerce. People come in, people sell everything. This is a big cultural zone. It's also a shit ton of tension. The Danon do not like the Erd. We're going to fight over this constantly. There's going to be constant flare-ups of tension. People are going to get thrown in the fucking lake and they're going to get killed with it. You have some very obvious kind of like power plays going on here. You have some kind of some moments of like, this is kind of like no man's land. No one really owns this. No one wants to own it because it sucks. So we've got some tension points up here. We've got some very calm up here. That's very nice. You know, let's put if we're going to refer to this place kind of like as its own thing, we're going to do like these two trade a lot. These two are pretty much like hip. This is just a giant mining community. Pretty much people mine up here, throw things down into the actual, you know, cities where they live. We can probably throw a village up. We can throw like a village like right here. Right here. Kind of like the more of the mining communities that spring up, you could say. You don't have anything. We're gonna throw a village, one village, a singular village. That's all that's there. Oh, I gotta own another fucking village right here. So we're just gonna hunt for the empty provinces. I don't believe there are any more empty provinces. Seize the giant one. There's gonna be a village probably right here. Right up here. A lot of empty territory because they do not like people. We do not like dealing with other fucking people. Fuck you. Yep. Boom, 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 boom. We've got a lot of territory here. We've got a lot of territory down here. Do we have any empty provinces here? I'm not seeing any. We could throw in town right there. Not seeing any empty province. Any empty provinces. You're going to be a little bit unique. So I don't need to worry about this as much. This is a very unique situation down there, so we're going to leave it alone. Okay, so that's all of the villages. Time for shrines. A kirk is the Vatican. A monastery is like a church town. Not even necessarily like that, like the Vatican. It is kind of like Mecca in that, or like Jerusalem. This is a very large, very important place to people. Are there a shit ton of people there? There's a good number of people, but not as much as you would call like, super urbanized. But again, it has that cultural, that piety, that power behind it of, this is a name, this is a place of worship. This is a important place that we cannot lose, nor do we wish to even suggest lose. So we're gonna look for places that deserve a shrine. Where do we not see a lot of worship happening? Throw a shrine down there. Why not? Fuck it. I'm not seeing a lot of worship happening over here. Actually, there's a lot of worship going on here. Not a lot of worship up here. Actually, let's put one in the middle of fucking nowhere because I can do that with shrines. Shrines are allowed to be put fucking anywhere because they're weird little shrines. Coastlines. Here. There's a little protectionism going on here. All of the Danon ones should be along the coast because that's a very thing for the Danon. But there. Very important idea for the Danon, how they function. Because the Danon all worship fucking Leviathan. Hence, yes, the Danon worship a fish god, and the fish god is mean. No one likes the fish god because the fish god wants to kill everyone. The fish god wants to commit total landlubber death, and people don't like total landlubber death because they don't want to die. Town's a little bit sparse, but the two monasteries should offset that. We're gonna put a shrine. We can put a shrine deep, kind of. Oh, welcome to the shrine. We do not give a rat's ass of what's down here. We'll put it there. We'll put a shrine right in this fucking mess. We don't know what the hell's going on there. We're gonna put a shrine right there. Let's put a shrine. We don't actually have much in this area, so let's fill it out a little bit. Let's fill out this area with the shrine right there. We don't really need a shrine because this exists. But we could put one... No. You have a fucking... The Vatican is nearby. We do not need a shrine if the Vatican is nearby. This one has far enough away to kind of justify it. It's kind of in an awkward space. This isn't an awkward space. We have the big shrine there. We have legitimately fuck all here. We're gonna put a keep. Fortnite. I am Fortnite gaming. You don't understand. I'm gaming. I'm a gamer. I'm from Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Favorite show. I love Rick and Morty. Wait. Put down some keeps. I have been noticing more, actually this is just, I have been noticing more keeps ads recently. I don't know why I've been noticing more of them. I don't like it. Because keeps ads are cursed. And they, every time I see them, I cringe a little on the inside. Because I know it's like, oh god, the YouTube people I enjoy are having to do this because they're very poor. Big fort down the river a little bit. Fucking aggro against this guy right here. I keep building them along the river to be really hyper aggressive because I hate everyone. You're going to have a welcome to No Man's Land, asshole. Welcome to the border. Have fun. It's not going to be. We have a little bit of threat going on here. We have a lot of threat going on down here a little bit. So we've got some defense. You are going to have a hastily built here. Very hastily here. You're going to have a fort right here. Right in your territory. Don't want it to be in their territory anymore. Fort. If forts are going, like, forts can protect people. That's kind of the idea. Forts protect people and they protect areas of interest. So if we're protecting an area of interest, you will need to put it up the river from a town. Because if the town is ever under attack, you sail down the river real fast and you're there. You always have force projection. Force projection. Put one right there. We don't really need that many forts along the coast, really. Because the Danon and the Danon don't attack one another. Danon are too busy worshipping fish Jesus. On a little island there because we got a little... This is, if you want a war campaign, you go here. because it's gonna erupt into a fight. It's all right. We're getting ready for a fight. We put that right there. Put another one. Where would they be attacked from? If I was living here, where would I be attacked from? I would be attacked from this angle. So they're going to put a fort here. They would be actually no. We move the fort over here. So it's if we get attacked from the north, we can attack upwards. If we get attacked from here, we can move southward. It's force, and we have force protecting going this way, and we can protect our kin. Largely, I think while world building, largely, I have a good map. Keep the illusion players that you're not making up everything on the spot. Yo, Pat, did you take your meds today? No. Shrines are underrated, very important part of spiritual life, but usually ignored in narrative for larger buildings. Kind of the idea of the shrine is territory that is not another religious site should have a shrine, with basically not directly adjacent to it. It's the kind of the idea is like, I didn't want to call them like churches or priories. That didn't feel like kind of correct, because the religious situation on the island's a little bit complicated. So it's kind of like, I'm thinking that each hex is going to be about a day's travel from each other if you don't have a road. And I'm going to, mind you, I still have to connect all of these up with roads. Yeah, get ready for road time, baby. It's rodent time. There's just a village here. If there's a village here, we need force projection. Force projection, we're gonna put it like right here. It's pretty deep into it right here. This is deep into still firmly their territory, but they're like, fuck off for it. Fuck off forest, fuck off tree huggers. We don't need your kind here. Ree. Like, the really densely packed here, like, this is probably, this area right here is the most populated part of the island. This is by far the most populated. Followed by pretty much as you go up the coast here, like, anytime there's a coast, it's just like, that's where population kind of resides. Like, as you can kind of see here, there's a lot on the coast, there's a lot on the rivers, but like, this place right here is nothing. There's nothing here. Like, you have a monastery, but that's pretty much it. Like, do a thing where two cities are really close to one another, but there's no in between them. There's something like that in Dark Sun. Like, if I were to say like that for this particular setting, the only one that kind of you can make an argument is like, well, there aren't many like big like urban centers. The only really big urban center is like right over here, and we can make a special exception case for that one. We can make a like, hey, this is a special place because it's a giant fucking trade port, probably by the Assyrians. Like, hello, I am here to trade. Fuck you. Have fun. I'm like, oh, so we have force projection. If we kind of think of it like a ring, like everyone's like 2-3 rings, this kind of overlaps here, but it's also right along their coast, and they don't want to get raided because fuck getting raided. These guys have no forts. Let's build a fort for them real fast. Let's give the Tatic like a fort right here in the woods, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it protects their frontier. Ooh, goodness. It protects their frontier, and that's what they're really looking for. So, hey, I want this fort right here. All right, your job is to protect these two places. You have a little teeny bitty military 40 wardy that you don't really want to protect. All right, I think that establishes things pretty reliably. We've got probably well over, like, if we just go by pure holdings, like we've got a few holdings, as you can tell. We've got some pretty natural ones. Probably add the green to things, so yeah. We've got some pretty natural ones. Some are a little bit goofier than others, but hey, goofy is fine. You're kind of looking at the coast, kind of looking at the sides here. This is going to be a very special place. Don't worry about that one. It's going to be a special case that we talk about. Nightmare, awful zone of terribleness that no one wants to live in, so that Dana don't. Nothing up here because there's nothing to defend. Do you really want to be the guys to cross over into the shitty zone and die of attrition? Because no one lives out here. Got the big old mountain zone where one very particular group lives. Hey. Alright. Okie dokie then. We're looking good. We're looking real good. Piss off, tree fuckers. We burn wood here. Yeah, that's effectively the opinion there. Is it's like, go away. We don't wanna start shit, but we fucking will. Do not think we won't. We will start shit. So I'm gonna call it there. So thank you all. Godspeed, good luck. We didn't really get much mechanics done, but we made a big map, so that's fun. So thank you. Tomorrow, there might be a stream tomorrow. It kind of depends on what I plan on doing. There's a few ideas there. Friday, we will see the video go out, though. So thank you. Goodbye. We'll see you all later, and if anything, I will post the full map. I will post the full map as the paint.net file, just so everyone can see the rampant autism that we did here today. So thank you, and goodbye.